Really na mai ina hoa aloha aina o wau o Emma Broderick. He keiki o ka aina o kailua a kana I keia manawa he makua wau ka aina o ka lihilihi o laumiha me ka makani o hau pe'e a me ka ua o ko'i lipilipi. O maile mai ar ko'u makuahine a o Emma a kana aluli mai ar ko'u kupuna hine a o Noah Webster aluli ko'u kupuna kane kuakahi. He la wau na ko'u kumu. Aloha mai. Hi everybody. I'm Emma Broderick. I'm from Kailua, originally living in Kalihi now, and I am the daughter of Maile Meyer, the granddaughter of Emma Akana Aluli Meyer, and the great-granddaughter of Noah Webster Aluli. And I'm so grateful to be able to support the work of Puʻuhonua Society in my role today. So today I'll be sharing a little bit more about Hoʻākea Source, Puʻuhonua Society's newest and only regranting program. But in order to understand this particular program, you really do need to know the history of Puʻuhonua Society, which is very much the history of my family. So starting off with my great-grandfather, 1914, Ahahui Puʻuhonua na Hawaii, led by Prince Jonah Kuhio and others alongside my great-grandfather at the time. This was about 20 years after the overthrow. And so they were really focused on making sure that Hawaiians stayed on Hawaiian land. Their worry was of extinction. And so they really focused on addressing this issue through understanding legal rights and legal services at the time. So fast forward to the 70s, my grandmother, Emma Kanaluli Meyer, is now living in Kailua with her 7 children. And what her interest at the time was really to bring creatives, to bring artists into Kailua to provide opportunities for youth and for families to not only make art, but also to be surrounded by art through exhibitions. And so she did that work for many years and later passed on the work to my mother, Maile Meyer, who in the 90s renamed the organization to Puʻuhonua Society. And Puʻuhonua refers, as many of those in Hawaii know, to a safe place, a refuge. And so she really understood the work and the continuity of the work of her mother and her grandfather. And through the renaming, linked the work of Ahahui Puʻuhonua na Hawaii with the Young of Heart Workshop and Gallery, recognizing that there is a place for art in social justice. And so here I am, getting to continue the work today and continuing to create opportunities for Hawaii-based artists and Native Hawaiians to express themselves and engage with and impact audiences both in Hawaii and abroad. And now I'm going to share a little bit more about Hoʻākea Source. Hoʻākea Source is Puʻuhonua Society's newest program that furthers the mission of Puʻuhonua Society by creating new opportunities to support and honor visual artists living and working in Hawaii, and in particular by affirming Native Hawaiian value systems. There's an olelo no'eau that shares ike aku, ike mai, koku aku, kokua mai, pela ihola kanohana ohana. And it talks about that those who recognize others are recognized, those who help others are helped. And thus is the expansive family life. And this is really one of the value systems that's important to us at Hoʻākea Source. And it's not that I scratch your back, you scratch mine, or that it's tit for tat. It's really, as my auntie Manu always shares, that the gift is the giving, that we give because we can. And so this is really the backbone of Hoʻākea. So in understanding the work of Hoʻākea Source, it's really important to understand the name. So as we shared earlier, Wakea, Sky Father, that from which Hawaiians came. Akea also is an expanse or a broad space, and ho'o is our activating word. So ho'oakea or ho'akea refers to making broad or making expansive. And really for us, it's about highlighting and focusing on 3 core values or understandings that we have in Hawaii.
In our first 2 years, we were guided by the core values and understandings of Aina, that which feeds, pilina, relationality, and huli, change. This year, our focus shifts as a cyclical evolution to the program and as a response to current events affecting Hawaii. Our strategic priorities are Moemoeā, Puʻuhonua, and Ea. Moemoeā, or dreams, welcomes proposals that begin from a place beyond waking life. Proposals that highlight the fantastic potential of the unrealized or yet to be. Proposals that imagine alternative ways of being and knowing. This strategic priority acknowledges that dreams have always been a source of inspiration, prophecy, and guidance in Hawaiian culture. Dreams are a time when one can hear from those who have passed, their aumakua, or those they wish to hear from, and yet to this day, dreams remain largely beyond common understanding, just like the deep oceans. Puʻuhonua, refuges, are proposals that revolve around individuals, groups, communities, spaces, times, and/or places of sanctuary. Proposals that counteract the violence of daily life under ongoing U.S. occupation. This strategic priority came directly from the first 2 years of applications, as many of the applicants spoke to their work as being or creating a space of safety or belonging for themselves and others. Just as Puʻuhonua Society works to cultivate spaces where artists and cultural practitioners can create, we welcome applications that foster sovereign spaces within hostile spaces that create sanctuary for self and other. And finally, Ea, or freedoms, refer to proposals that embody life, breath, sovereignty, self-determination, and/or independence. Proposals that address obstacles to and/or clear pathways for indigenous growth, health, and well-being. Proposals that rise. We know that artists and cultural practitioners are vital to moving us closer to justice and bringing forth more just futures that are yet to be realized. Artists and cultural practitioners create what is not yet in existence and drive much needed change from the margins. This strategic priority honors the long lineage of work in Hawaii that affirms our inherent sovereignty.
And now I'm grateful to be able to welcome Donnie Cervantes, Hoʻākea Source Program Director and an incredible ally here in Hawaii for artists and creatives. Take it away.
Mahalo uma. Aloha kako. My name is Donnie Cervantes. I'm born in California and I currently live on Oahu in Manoa. And I'm very honored to be the new program director of Hoʻākea Source, as well as a co-director at Aupuni Space. I'm going to speak to more of the specifics of the program and then walk you through the application to get you as much information as I can so that you can confidently tell us about your narrative. So let's talk more about the details on Hoʻākea Source. Firstly, I want to honor and acknowledge the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts. Hoʻākea Source is a regional regranting partner of Andy Warhol Foundation. We are honored to be one of 35 cities and regions, rest of them being on the continent. We are the newest one, and here we are, Honolulu, Hawaii. The Regional Regranting Program partners with local arts organizations around the country to make grants to artists and collectives for projects that chart new creative territory in their communities. Each partner in the network creates its own program tailored to the specific needs and artistic identity of its region. So that's what we've really tried to do with this program, in that creating this review criteria, the 3 strategic priorities, Aina, Pilina, and Huli. It is our honor to award 6 to 12 grants ranging from $5,000 to $10,000 to selected projects. In our inaugural 2-year grant period, we will prioritize visual artists, collaboratives, and collectives living across the island of Oahu. In the case of collaboratives and collectives, some contributors may live off island, but the lead applicant must live and work on Oahu. Total monies distributed will be $60,000 per year. With that, let's get into the application. A selection panel will hui up in February to go through all the submitted applications and choose a finalist pool, and that will make up our first round of grantees who will be notified in March 2024. Okay, so when you click apply on our website, it will take you to puʻuhonuasociety.submittable.com. And you're going to see here, Hoʻākea Source Grant Cycle 2024. And let's click Apply. So first thing you either have to do is sign up or sign in to Submittable. You can create an account. You can sign in with Google. And if you've already applied to another grant program that uses Submittable as a platform, then you already have an account. So let's sign in. And once we sign in, it's going to bring us to this eligibility page. And these are questions that you're going to answer so that you know that you're eligible to be granted and that we know you are. So it kind of saves you the time of going through the whole application process to then turn it in and then realize that there's something that creates an ineligibility. So let's go through these quickly. Are you at least 18 years of age? Yes. Are you legally eligible to earn income in the United States? Yes. Are you a resident of Hawaii based on the island of Oahu? So the lead artist applying to Hoʻākea Source must be a resident of Oahu. Collaborators may be based elsewhere. So we're going to say yes. Are you submitting a proposal associated with a registered 501c3, limited liability corporation, or limited liability partnership? The answer to that must be no. Even if you have an LLC set up or a 501c3, you need to apply as an individual, and all funds granted from Hoʻākea Source must be to an individual. Are you a student enrolled in a degree-seeking program during the 12-month award period, March 24 to February 25? The answer to this must be no. And the last one, are you applying as a lead artist on behalf of an interdisciplinary collaboration or collective? The answer to this can be yes or no. It's just simply a way of kind of tagging submissions and kind of letting us know how many people applied as an individual, how many people applied as a collaboration or collective. I'm going to say yes here. Next. Okay, so now we get into the main application. The first thing I want to point out is the ability to invite collaborators to work on the proposal with you. When you click here, Manage Collaborators, you can add in any emails of people that you want to be able to log in and work on it with you. You can add as many people as you want. The only thing to remember is that these collaborators cannot submit the proposal at the end. The lead applicant has to be the one to submit it. Okay, next, proposal title. You're going to create a title for your proposal, and that is going to be what we see as your submission kind of goes through the process. Your name will be connected to the submission, but more down in the kind of details in it. And so we just prefer to have the title of the project be the thing that's kind of up top. Next, you're going to put in your government name and your preferred or chosen names if you have them. We need your government name for obvious reasons. If you do fill out a preferred or chosen name, this is how you will be addressed moving forward. You're going to put your address, your mailing address if it's different, your email address, and your phone number. The next section is grantee demographics. The following information is collected for demographic purposes and has no bearing on individual applications. All survey answers are maintained in strict confidence. We're simply asking these questions to better understand the communities that we're serving, and we can share that kind of demographic information with the Andy Warhol Foundation, so they in turn can have better understanding of communities that they're serving. This will not be tied to your application, and if you prefer, you can prefer not to disclose. Otherwise, you would check as many boxes as are applicable to your gender identity and sexual orientation. And then same for race and ethnicity. You can prefer to self-identify, you can prefer not to answer. Your race or ethnicity may not be listed here. age ranges, sources of income, full-time job, part-time job, my art, more than one part-time job, other benefits or support, or you prefer not to answer. Do you identify as a person with a disability? Okay, so I am dropping in some new footage to represent our expanded offering of grants to material practice rooted in Hawaiian culture and how that differs from choosing one of the other mediums, performance art, film, video, time-based media, photography, painting and drawing, installation, printmaking, social practice, sculpture, or other. Clicking other will open a box in which you can describe the medium that you're using that is not listed above. I just want to point out how the application changes when you choose to apply with the material practice. You will still speak to the strategic priorities of Hoʻākea Source, of which Emma goes into in detail earlier in the video, Moe Moe A, Puʻuhonua, and Ea. But you'll notice that there are less questions in the material practice application, as well as you do not have to submit a timeline or a budget because the material practice grants are unrestricted grants. You should still upload image and time-based work samples to submit your proposal, of which I explain a little bit later in this video. You will still upload an artist resume, a CV, or a letter of recommendation. That's a new option that we're offering. And you will still provide a reference that can speak to your practice. So going back up to here, when we click any other medium other than material practice, the application changes and you will see additional questions. Okay, so I'm going to drop you back into the older video that I recorded where I am speaking to the details of the visual arts side of the Hoʻākea Source application on Submittable. You're going to take note. A successful application will speak directly to what your proposal is, who it involves, and which of the 3 strategic priorities it most closely aligns with, and why. Situate your artistic practice within a larger arts genealogy of Hawaii. Demonstrate a capacity to realize your project on time and within budget. You're going to explain how the public would engage with your project with an emphasis on non-conventional exhibition spaces. So non-conventional exhibition spaces, Andy Warhol Foundation is very interested in things happening outside the institution. So outside museum, outside gallery, outside of Aupuni space, in community, in places that could be activated by a visual arts component that would kind of maybe change the way people feel about that space. We just want to hear about that. You should be thinking about that. And then you're going to describe the potential impact on a local community in the larger arts and cultural landscape of Hawaii. Okay, so now you're going to get into the meat of the application where you're going to be writing in and telling us what you propose to do. Your proposed research or project description should be a short and simple description of what you want to do and who you are going to do it with. Next, you're going to describe your artistic practice and how it relates to the larger arts genealogy of Hawaii. So really speak to your practice here, what you've done up until now, why you're doing it in Hawaii, whether you are Native Hawaiian, whether you were born here, or whether you choose to live here. We just want to know why you're making the work that you're making and why you're doing it here. Describe your proposed research or project and how it relates to one or more of the 3 strategic priorities. Describe the specific research or project activities. What is the discipline, process of creation, and specific art-making activities of the applicant, artist, or collective? So it's the who, what, when, where, and why. And I think you should keep it as simple as that, in my opinion. Describe your plans for community engagement throughout your process, as well as the potential impact of your project on communities of Hawaii. So this is how are you going to present your finished project? Who are you going to work with while you make it? Are you going to be in community while you're developing it? We want to hear how communities are going to be engaged, how they might benefit from this project, and it's an important part of Hoʻākea Source, as well as an important guideline from the Andy Warhol Foundation. So those are what you're going to write to us. I think for some people, keeping the word length down will be easier. Some people who tend to be verbose, you really have to kind of edit down your descriptions and kind of don't make it flowery, but just keep it simple, and let us know what you want to do. Okay, work samples. You have two options. Would you like to upload an image-based work sample to support your proposal? This is a still, a JPEG, documentation, pictures of your artwork, and then you can also upload time-based work samples to support your proposal. That would be a time-based is anything that takes time to experience it. So when you hit yes here, you have visual arts-based work samples. So you're going to choose a file. It's going to connect it to your computer. And then you are going to choose which stills you're going to upload. So here I have uploaded a screenshot, and then you're going to make a title, 2023, and then your description is where you are going to say, this is a documentation of a performance. With my collaborator name. All right, so you just want to kind of let us know anything you'd like us to know when we look at a still. You can choose up to 7 more files. They can be Word files, a PDF, a JPEG, or a PNG. So up to 8. And then when we say, would you like to upload a time-based work sample to support your proposal? Say yes. And down here, performance, sound, film, video, work samples. So you can do up to 3. They should be no longer than 10 minutes combined for review. So if you have a 5-minute, a 3-minute, a 2-minute, or an 8-minute and 2 1-minutes, please don't give us any more than 10 minutes to kind of go through. Please upload files. We prefer that you upload video or sound files rather than links. If you have to give us a link, you can upload a document that contains a links and any passwords to like a Vimeo or a YouTube. And in that case, you're going to want to give us a starting cue where necessary. So if you want us to start at 1 minute and end at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, please do that. So when you choose a file here, it's going to, I'm just going to upload a junk screen recording. That's a .mov. So you can do .mpg, .mp4, .mov, .m4v. These are video and MP3 and WAV sound files, and then the docx or PDF is if you need to upload something with links. After that uploads, you're going to do the same thing with the metadata. You're going to title it, you're going to put the year completed, and put in a descriptor so that the selection panelists know what they're looking at. Any insight you want to give them. All right, that's taking a while, so I'm going to go down to proposal budget. Okay, the budget. You are going to need to download and complete the budget template, which is hosted on Drive. You will have a view-only access. You're going to have to download the file as an Excel sheet and fill it out on your computer. I'm going to make a copy of this one so I can fill it out with you guys. There are two sections here. There's project income, and then there are project expenses. Let's look at expenses first. You're going to kind of need to map out as best you can what you think it's going to cost to get your project done, considering that the maximum amount that you are going to receive from Hoʻākea Source would be $10,000. I want to emphasize the importance of the participating artist compensation line here in the budget. This signifies the amount of money from the grant that will be paid specifically for an artist's participation in your project. In kind, see this section here. In kind contributions are really important to us. A lot of efforts go uncompensated, and we want to acknowledge those. So for instance, let's say you have 3 artists collaborating on this project, and you feel like out of $10,000, $3,000 is a good amount for the 3 of you to be compensated, $1,000 each. But really, you're going to be working quite a bit on this, and you think that really each artist should deserve more like $9,000. We're going to put $24,000 in the in-kind section for artist compensation. For production, same thing. Let's say you are going to be building sets. All the lumber would be like hard cost. Let's say $700, but you have some friends building it for you or with you, and they are doing it to help you out. So we're going to put $1,200 in there. So you kind of go down the line. Another really good one is venue rental. Let's say you need to film a scene and you don't have a space to do it, and you ask Puʻuhonua Space if you could use their space for 2 days. And they say yes, and they don't charge you. They're not going to charge you for that. So you are going to put 2 days rental of Puʻuhonua Space, $1,600. And as you move through here and fill everything out, so project production, project research, whatever money you might need to do that research, any travel accommodations, so you're going to do something on Neighbor Island, community engagement activities. Let's say you have a meeting, you host a meeting, you host something in community, and you want to kind of give them some refreshment, pupu, put that there. Marketing and fundraising, exhibition, performance, and other presentations. So any cost that you can foresee. It's kind of hard to do this ahead of the fact, but we just want to get an idea of how you're going to spend this grant and what other ways you might be. Let's say you apply for an Atherton Family Foundation grant, and that is pending. You don't know if you're going to get that by this time that you apply, January 31st. So other in kind is going to end up being right here, $26,800. And then other cash income, let's say somebody gives you a donation, a cash donation to get something done. You have $3,000. You want to total that up. So the whole budget for the whole project is $49,800. So what you're going to want to do then is bring your expenses up to match $49,800. So right now we have $30,650. So basically you want these two sections to match. You want to be able to get your project done with what you hope to raise or the funds that you have available. That's a really quick walk through the budget. If you need to make any notes that you want to share with us, maybe about some of the in-kind, other grants you're applying for, other ways that you might raise funds to make your project happen, You can also put descriptions of anything that you want to let us know in this section as well. So you're then going to save that, and you're going to re-upload that file there. So however you've saved it, you're going to put it back onto the application. Next is a timeline. So you're going to create a simple timeline for your proposed research or project to be completed and shared publicly before March 1st, 2025. You could do that quarterly. You could do it month by month. Doesn't need to be, super overwrought. You just kind of want to let us know what you're going to do through the year. And next, artist resume. This would be the lead applicant. And artist bio. This is where you can give us your own bio as well as the bios of any collaborators, so we can have a better understanding of who is going to work on the project. Only the lead applicant needs to upload an artist resume or CV, and don't worry too much about the resume, the CV. Let's say you don't have 10 exhibitions on record. You're just going to let us know what you have done in your career, and it can be as simple or as complex as is the kind of reality of your practice. The last thing we need to do is provide a professional reference that can speak to your practice. That is somebody, you're going to list their name, their email address, and their phone number. And if necessary, a selection panelist might choose to contact that person and just ask them a little bit more and see what that person has to say about your practice. So you really want to trust this person. You want to let them know you're doing it. And it's basically in lieu of having to ask somebody to write you a letter of reference. So everybody should be happy about that. You can save this draft, come back to it. Like I said, collaborators can help you complete this, put in information. You guys can all edit it. And then when you're done, you're going to click apply. Right now, this is going to tell me there's a million things I haven't done. So it'll kind of go back and tell you anything that's missing. As of now, there's 2 months and a couple days to work on this. So don't let it go to the last minute. Feel free to email me, dfc@hoʻākeasource.org, with any kind of questions. Both Emma and I will be doing one-on-one sessions in January to work on your narrative, work on your budget, any kind of advice we can give. Luckily, since we have no bearing on who actually receives a grant, we can help you on this side to kind of put forth the best application possible. So mahalo for watching this long video. Hopefully it was understandable, and aloha.